A lot of times I feel like people, especially when they get older, they kind of get resentful and kind of, they daydream about how things could have been. You can still make things happen. You can't be afraid to do it, and you can't just sit there and let life pass you by. You gotta grab the bull by the horns, I guess, and just do it. Do what makes you happy. I'd say, even if it is stupid, at least try it and compromise. If it's a job or something, and I don't understand it. I know you have responsibilities, but find a way to do it, and uh, there's always a way. You just have to be smart about it. You have to be smart about things. Um, and it saddens me when you get older and people just don't have confidence and don't believe in themselves enough to make themselves happy. It saddens me, and yeah. And if you are, younger and you're depressed, life, it's only going to get harder, but as it gets harder, you get stronger and you learn to cope and deal, and you get smarter with your choices and things work out. So, I wouldn't just give up just yet. There's so much more things you have to go through. And if you're in high school or middle school, people live in the moment. So right now, this is probably the worst times, but it's actually when you get out of high school, you find out it's probably a lot of the most interesting little moments you've had, and it is funny, and there is a lot of embarrassing moments, but it'll get better, and it'll also get worse. So things do happen, and life does get better, and a lot of times it's really amazing and gratifying and glorious, and especially when you accomplish things and you complete goals and stuff. But it is really hard too. But yeah, let me just read just one thing here for you guys. If I can find my book, there it is. And if you are a Christian, you're not gonna like Nietzsche because he said that God is dead. But I don't necessarily believe that. But the way he wrote in this book that I have, there's so many things that people have been writing for years and years. This is a great book. I tried to read it when I was in middle school. I was trying to read this. It was really hard for me to understand it, but now that I've started to reread it, I've actually grown to love it more now. It talks about people. It talks about majority of people. Basically, the beginning of the story is about this guy named Zarathustra who goes up into the mountains to live and get away from these people. He always lived with these people that live in this town, these people, and be around the animals and the birds and be with his thoughts. And he's going back down from the mountain, and he has to teach everybody what he's learned. Basically, he's been up there for years and just been thinking and philosophy and all this stuff and all these new ideas. And this priest actually lives up there too, and he bumps into him and he tells him, why are you wasting your time on these people? You shouldn't even. All they do is take things from you, and they're greedy, and all they do is take, and they don't listen to people, and they have no ears and all this stuff, and they don't. And it's really true. And the priest is actually he's really jaded because of what has happened to him, and it's kind of sad, but it also really puts things in perspective and makes people, it's so true. And it's just funny that people have been writing about this for years and years, and these ideas and things. And this book was written in 1844, or yeah, something like that. some around 1800 something. And basically in one of the passages he says, "You tell me life is hard to bear, but if it were otherwise, why should you have your pride in the morning and your resignation in the evening? Life is hard to bear, but do not pretend to be so tender. We are all of us pretty fine asses and asses of burden." What have we in common with the rosebud, which trembles because a drop of dew is laying upon it? It is true, we love life, not because we are used to living, but because we are used to loving. There is always a certain madness in love, but there is also a certain method in madness. So, it's pretty much like saying, life is hard, but if it wasn't hard, you wouldn't appreciate it. You wouldn't appreciate what you've accomplished. You wouldn't feel good about it. You wouldn't feel like you conquered the day, and you wouldn't have that good feeling at night. So, if you can't handle it and you're just crying and whatever, I am one of those people that I don't really have sympathy for suicide. I don't. It's just not me. I've already seen it. I've already talked to people about it, and I've been depressed before. I've been on antidepressant medicine, and I know a lot about it, but I don't have sympathy for it at all. I think it's a very selfish act, and also, I also think, death is peaceful. If you want to die and be in peace, then that's fine. If you believe in God, then you probably shouldn't do that, because it says you're going to go to hell if you kill yourself, so. I mean, if you believe in the Bible, I guess you can believe in God and kill yourself if you want. But that is my idea on it. And also, I'm not going to get into self-harm really yet. I'll probably make another video on that, but, I don't understand it. If people want to make comments, sure thing. I'm open-minded. But I still have my beliefs, and, I'm going to stick with them. So, yeah, life isn't for everyone. That's why we have some people that are alive and some people that are dead, and some people died because of natural causes. Some people didn't. So, I think if you're young and you're thinking about killing yourself, I would say don't. I would say you should at least give it a few tries before you get there. Because there is a lot of wonderful things that can happen that you never thought would ever happen. And I feel like you're too young to just give up like that. And also, when you're old, too, when you're older, I feel like you got lots of things to look forward to. You can, there's things that you don't even think would ever happen either. There's so many things. What if somebody needs you around? If you don't have family, what if you meet somebody and then you're gone, just don't do it. Whatever you do, I would say don't do it. But then at the same time, I'm iffy about it. I'm in and out of it. I would say don't do it, but if you do it, so long and happy travels. If you're just gonna be dead and in the ground and decomposing, or you could be going to heaven, or you could be reincarnated, or you could be going somewhere where we don't know where you're going. I don't know. I don't know what happens. All I know is here in this dimension. I don't know anything else except dreams, and when you're dreaming, that kind of dimension. But other than that, I don't know. So nobody knows. It's kind of a mystery, and that's why everybody's scared of it, because we don't know what happens. And all we know is that that person is gone, and while we're here, we're never going to see them again. It makes us sad that we're never going to get to talk with them again, or hug them, or have dinner with them, or smell them, or, touch them or anything. You're just going to be gone, and then you're just going to be a memory. And then after that, people are going to move on and forget about it. So I don't think it's worth it. I think you need to stick around and make yourself known. And if you are feeling suicidal and you know it's wrong, I'd say get some help and try some medicine, especially if you're feeling suicidal because of the death of somebody else. It's totally normal. But definitely if it's getting bad, I definitely say talk to people, talk to your loved ones, talk to your close friends. But don't post it on the internet. I mean, be smart. Go to a hospital. Call suicide hotline. I mean, it just drives me up the wall when people do stuff like that for attention. Of course, when you are suicidal, you do need support, but it just really does drive me crazy when people post shit like that on the internet. It just makes me want to be mean. But yeah, I have mixed views on it. So I think it's really selfish to do it in public too, especially when there's little kids watching. It took me a long time to get over that. I saw a guy jump off of a balcony and just splat. So I do think that is pretty awful, but at least it makes life precious. So yeah, that's all I gotta say about that, guys. This was a dark video, but life is really amazing, and not always. I mean, most of the time it's pretty boring, but there is amazing things, like this really stupid video. This kid looks like he's trying to be a gangster, and he's a little ginger white kid, and he's putting his finger up, middle finger. There's just funny shit like that, like little things. That's not that great. Summers are awesome. Friends, family. Also, you know, if you do battle depression, keeping yourself busy and distracted kind of is good. Having hobbies, getting out of the house. So I would just say don't give up. Give it another try. There's this poem that I think everybody would like. Let me just find it. I'm going to read it before I let you guys go. One more try, I think. The Quitter. It's called The Quitter. And it's by Robert Service. Okay.
When you're lost in the wild.
No, you're not going to read that. I'm going to read it. Okay, so this is The Quitter. Oops. When you're lost in the wild, and you're scared as a child, and death looks you bang in the eye, when you're sore as a boil, and according to Hoyle, it's to cock your revolver and die. But the code of a man says fight all you can, and self-delusion is barred. In hunger and woe, oh, it's easy to blow. It's the hell served for breakfast that's hard. When you're sick of the game, well, now that's a shame. You're young and you're brave and you're bright. You've had a raw deal, I know, but don't squeal. Buck up, do your damnedest, and fight. It's the plugging away that will win you the day, so don't be a piker, old pard. Just draw on your grit, it's easy to quit. It's the keeping your chin up that's hard. It's easy to cry that you're beaten and die. It's easy to crawfish and crawl. But to fight and to fight when hope's out of sight, why, that's the best game of them all. And though you've come out of each grueling bout, all broken and beaten and scarred, just have one more try. It's dead easy to die. It's the keeping on living that's hard. So I'll leave you with that. It's a great poem. It's called The Quitter, so if you want to read it or print it out or something, it really is. It's really motivational, and I think it saved someone's life in the wild or something. I don't remember the story, but yeah, so I'll leave you with that, guys. Don't be a quitter. My parents told me this in high school. quitters never win and winners never quit. So